Welcome.
Can you hear that?
Oh yeah. Welcome.
Wait, let me try it. 1 second. I need to get closer to the microphone. That sounded like. Put this thing back in. Ooh, my microphone is very dusty.
God. Welcome to the Basement Bird Show.
Yes, welcome.
We
back.
are having a snack.
You are. I'm not eating anything.
Record.
Should I go get a snack just for fun?
Logan and Reid here.
Yeah.
Recording. I'm in my basement. Reid's in a cave somewhere on a lonely island.
Yeah.
All by himself.
The Lonely Island. Yeah. I have to sneeze
Been a busy
now.
week. Been a busy week. Been a busy weekend. Last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of us having a lot to do. I don't know if you want to go first, if you want me to go first.
Yeah,
but
I can go
we
first.
Both had some interesting things happen over the weekend.
Yeah. Mine took place yesterday. So we're recording this on Tuesday. Mine took place yesterday, Monday, Cinco de Mayo. Not related to this story, but it was. Did you eat tacos on Cinco de Mayo?
We did. We made special tacos. Obviously.
Nice. I forgot it was Cinco de Mayo until after I ate dinner, so I did not, which I feel kind of bad about, but I got tacos today for lunch, so...
Doesn't count.
Day late, but whatever. So anyway, we have been in this middle of a stretch of a lot of rain, Maybe like each day for the last week it has rained, okay?
April showers bring May flowers.
Yep, we're in May, and it's still raining like it's in April. Anyway, so I had a couple coworkers that were off yesterday, and they wanted to golf. I was not off, okay? But... they booked the tee time for 2:30, and we work until 4. The course is about a half hour away. So the plan was they play the front 9, and I meet up with them and play the back 9 with them. Okay? Perfectly reasonable, right? Okay? So I'm driving on my way to the course, and it starts raining. And I'm like, this ain't great. Rain starts to pick up a little bit, kind of tapers off, picks up a little bit, on and off, ebbing and flowing. And I get a call from them. It's around 4:15. I'm about 15 minutes out. And one guy's like, hey, we just got called off because of lightning. I'm like, well, that's no fun. That's not great. Because it was raining. So I pulled into the course about 15 minutes later, and it is pouring, okay, like coming down. And I pull into the course, and there are 4 cars in the parking lot. Now 5, me. There is each of the 3 guys, plus the guy working in the clubhouse. That is the only people that are there. Okay, so I sit down, and come to find out, that the guy didn't make them pay for the round because it was raining. And when they got called off the course, and the one guy asked him, he's like, yeah, how long is this? How long is this rain supposed to last? We can get back out when it's done. Like what time are we looking at? And the guy just goes, instead of giving them a time or saying that he doesn't want them going back out, he just goes, I don't know. Looks like it's going to keep raining for a bit. Or like, I don't know. There's more lightning in the area. So he's finding reasons and lot to let them go out. So I get there around 4:30. It's around 5 o'clock. Guy walks up to our table, fully expecting him to send us home. Be like, hey guys, you aren't getting back out there. He looks at us. He's like, well, if you guys want to try to play the back 9, you can, because the rain had lightened up at that point. So we're like, sick. We load up the carts. We get out. And I don't know if you have ever played a round of golf where you're the only person on the course, but we were the only people out there.
You're flying.
Yeah,
through the
we were flying. So... first hole, fine. I'm doing good. Second hole was my best hole of the day. I birdied it. Third ever birdie. Okay. Great drive. Great 8-iron onto the green. drained about a 30-footer for birdie. It was fantastic.
You're over here like Happy Gilmore in the or when it's no. That's Groundhog Day, right? When they're no. What am I? Caddyshack. Caddyshack when it's pouring rain and they're out there golfing and they smack the putt and it just is through a lake. That's what I envision in this round of golf.
So at that point it wasn't raining too bad. Okay, it honestly had stopped at that point. Maybe it was a slight miss in the air, but it had stopped. So we were good for about the first 4 holes. I birdied 2. I'm feeling great. The most fun round I'm having. Because no one really cares, because those 3 guys are soaked. We know that more rain is on the way, so we're trying to get through before it comes through, okay? So we're all swinging free, having a great time, not playing terrible golf, besides the putting and looking like there's a lake that you're going through, which is fun. Okay. So we get to, let me think, this was probably hole 15, and we pull up to the tee box, and it starts to pour. Like,
it opens up.
Yep, like the hole was probably 400 yards, and we could see halfway to the green. It was relatively flat. You could see the whole hole, on a regular day. Could probably see halfway. And we're like, well, we're already out here. We aren't hearing the siren go off, so we're just going to keep going. So we're teeing off in the rain, and we're absolutely drenched. And at that point, we're just like, let's golf. Let's go. Who cares? We're already drenched. It was hilarious. So I don't know if you've ever played golf in the rain before, but it was quite the experience. And it got to the point where everyone was so soaked from the rain that they didn't really care anymore, like what anyone was shooting, and we were just having a good time. It was probably like top 5 vibe rounds that I've had.
Well, that's the best
I don't
kind
know
of
if you've
golf,
had,
though.
Yeah, where everyone's just loose and just swinging. It was great. I went to pick up my ball at one point, and my hat was obviously soaked, and I bend over and I just see this wall of rain come off the top of my hat, just fall down right in front of me. I'm like, oh my god, that was the moment where I'm like, holy cow, this is crazy. But it was a blast, I will say. I don't know if you ever had a round like that where you've played in the rain. This is my first time playing in the rain. Not something I want to do all the time, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I expected. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, I've only ever had once where we've gone off the course and gotten a rain check, because they'll give out, if it starts pouring or whatever, and they'll give you a rain check for. We actually got through 6 or 7 holes, and they gave us a rain check for all 18. So
that's
we got
nice.
to play. Yeah, we got to play basically 6 or 7 holes for free.
That's fantastic.
But I mean, a lot of times I feel like it's kind of misty, and it'll rain on again, off again. I've been in a lot of that situation, and that's just not fun. With this Illinois weather, you can, it could say no rain, and then you get up and it's pouring.
Yeah. Oh, that's how it is here too.
Awful. So we're getting towards the end of the spring, I feel like. So hopefully it's going to start being nicer a little bit longer, because right now, kind of the weather we're experiencing is it's really nice. It was really nice today. It was pretty nice yesterday, but it's supposed to get cold towards the end of the week, which is just terrible. It poured rain later in the week, last week, so really kind of poo-pooed the golfing over the weekend.
Yeah.
I did happen to golf in a outing, but it was at the simulator at the range. So,
it was a simulator outing?
Yeah, so it was at the range that we went to.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that being a thing before.
So you play 18 holes as a scramble from the range, right, on the course. They have the course programmed in there.
Uh-huh.
So you guys play the course, and then whoever, it's the same thing. You write down your score.
Interesting.
So you're going to like this. You play 18 holes of golf.
Uh-huh.
You get 4 drink tickets.
Uh-huh.
You get 2 pizzas. No. You get 4 drink tickets per person.
Uh-huh.
2 pizzas per group, plus wings.
Jeez.
Per group for $60 a person.
That's not bad at all.
That also includes straightest drive and closest to the pin. That was on the indoor simulator. So you go and you do a drive on the range, basically, and it tells you how far off center you were.
Interesting.
And so
I've never
that was
heard of this before.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
it's very interesting.
It was neat.
Yeah.
It was my first kind of outing of the year.
Yeah.
We didn't do as well as we had hoped. We were practicing from the tournament tees because we figured we're going to be playing on the tournament tees.
Uh-huh.
But we actually played 2 sets of tees closer. So you would think that would improve our score.
Yeah,
it did not. So I think we were used to practicing a longer course, so like we kind of had figured
Sure.
out, okay, the people who like I hit the ball longest on the drive most of the time, so I went last, so I could,
Yeah.
really feel free to open up, and so sometimes though, like it wasn't. The hole was a little longer, so the hazard was right where my ball was going to land, and so just like things like that,
Yeah.
So that was kind of my Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday. What were you gonna say?
Can I say something I just thought about with my round yesterday? I just remember this
Yes.
as well. Okay, so we're soaked. We get to the end of the round. We all just want to go home, or we went to grab food after. So we're trying to, get our stuff in our cars as quickly as we can.
You're wringing
obviously.
yourself out in the parking
Wringing
lot.
ourselves out. I am taking my shoes off and dumping a puddle of water out of them, which actually didn't happen because my shoes are very waterproof. I learned that yesterday. Socks were pretty dry. I was very impressed with that. Anyway, so in my haste of trying to get out of there, I leave a very important, in my opinion, piece of golf equipment in the cart. Do you want to guess what it is?
Is it the rangefinder?
It is the rangefinder.
Can you stop sneezing, please?
I'm trying, man. It is.
Okay.
I left my rangefinder in the cart, which I was so excited going to this year because for Christmas I got a magnetic strap for my rangefinder. Okay, so I'm like, this is great. I don't need to take it in and out of the bag, or I keep it in the little case clipped to my bag. Don't need to take it in and out of that, or like put it in like the little shelf on the front of the cart. I can have it magnetized to the cart, nice and convenient. Okay, it was fantastic for the first 3 rounds I used it, and now on the 4th one, it makes me leave the damn thing in the cart. So I realize this when I get home because I'm airing out my bag and everything like that. I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't have my rangefinder. So I'm like, don't worry, I'll just call the course the next day. I tried to call them 4 times today throughout the course of the day. Couldn't get through to anyone. Got a voicemail 4 times. I tried to leave a message, just be like, hey, I'm Reid. I left my rangefinder there. I even knew what cart number we were in, okay?
I like how you say, hi, I'm Reid.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I would say, but I even knew what
I'm
cart
Reid.
number we were in, okay? So I'm like, I'm ready. I'll tell them I was in cart 23. It's black rangefinder. Tell them the brand. Yada yada. Magnetic strap. You got it. Couldn't get through to anyone. So now I have to try calling tomorrow and see if the thing shows up. But the good news is that I have a backup rangefinder because
Of course you do. Of course
Yeah.
you do, dude. Why would
Well,
you not?
this ties into your story talking about golf outings because I bought my rangefinder, I think in like June of last year, May or June of last year, okay? And then 2 weeks later, I play in a golf outing through work, which is like the best outing to play in through work because they always have good door prizes and stuff like that. And like they have unlimited drinks and everything like that. You don't have to worry about drink tickets. You get a meal afterwards, yada yada, the whole 9 yards. It's fantastic. Okay.
Well, first of all, most golf outings have unlimited drinks.
Well,
We're just
yeah,
going to throw that out there.
okay,
Not
yeah,
at the simulator,
yes.
they don't, but
That's fair.
most-
okay. Unlimited drinks, hot dogs every 3 holes. It's great. Okay. And what is the door prize but a rangefinder? So I had 2 rangefinders, and now I unfortunately, hopefully, just momentarily down to 1 until I can be reunited with the other. But maybe this is my lesson that the magnetic strap for the rangefinder sounded like a really good idea, but it has now come to bite me. So hopefully they have found the rangefinder and it is safe, and I can go pick it up. But if not, I do have the backup one.
yeah. Well, that's a rookie move, Reid. That's a rookie move to
know.
leave things in the cart.
Yeah,
You know what I
never
mean?
do that. I'm always so good about checking the cart because I'm paranoid about leaving stuff behind. Okay.
And now you're going to be even more paranoid.
I know.
You've left
'cause
something
I'm not,
there.
Yeah, because I'm not quite used to having the rangefinder stuck to the cart. Like I'd put it in its little. I would normally keep it in its little case. Because it's got the little elastic bungee thing that you can keep it shut, so you don't have to do the zipper every time. I just throw it in there, and it's not an issue. But then I left it in the cart, and I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I left the rangefinder. That's bad news bears. So, hopefully they got it. I guess we'll find out tomorrow, and I can report back next week, assuming someone answers the phone.
There you go. There is another option where you just go to the course.
See,
not to get too complex on you there, bud.
Yeah, but I don't want to drive 25 minutes out there if I can just call them. Just be like,
And
hey,
then,
you have the
and then
rangefinder.
you'll have them box it up, overnight FedEx ship it to
No,
you
I'll
and pay
drive it out there.
$212.
I'll drive out there if they have it. I just want to know before I drive out
Well,
there.
where do you think it went? You think someone stole it? I mean,
Potentially.
I assume there was nobody after you.
There wasn't. But what if they had people today and that someone got that cart and they have my rangefinder?
Well, don't they put the carts away?
Well, yeah. Well,
Well,
no.
a lot of places will put the carts into the cart house.
Oh, no,
and
there's no cart house at this course. They just sit outside.
most places have a cart house. Everywhere
yes.
needs a cart house.
Most do, but these just sit outside, They were just sitting outside in their, doing their own thing.
Well, during the day they sit outside, but they are moved in the evening.
See, normally I feel like that could happen at this course, but I don't think this one guy that was working was moving all those carts.
I think you'd be surprised.
Well, that guy wanted to go home because he told us he's like you guys can play the back nine, but I'm trying to leave at 7. So, he told us, "Hey man,
Like I'm out of here. You guys are drowning out there on hole 18.
Yeah,
Sucks to be you."
We thought for sure if we were on 18 at like 7 o'clock, he'd hit the horn to have us come in so he could go home. But luckily he didn't. But I can't complain too much about the round because I didn't pay for it. So the guy was nice, didn't make us pay for it. So I'm like, all right, I really can't complain. Hopefully they have the rangefinder, but of course we got the backup plan.
Well, and plus, if you got the round for free, I mean that there then could be your fee as a new rangefinder. So
yeah, well, I don't need to pay for the new rangefinder though because I have the backup.
Well, so then why are you complaining?
Because I like that one. I'm used to it.
You're used to it?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're okay, dude. Whatever.
This other one has a rechargeable battery. What if it dies? What happens?
It's called the charger, portable charger.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could bring it along.
A lot of these
the golf
carts have chargers
USB.
built in. Yeah.
That's a good call. I didn't think about that until now. That's a really good idea, actually.
I'm full of good ideas. Thank you.
Yeah,
Just ask anyone that knows me.
I think I'll pass on that one, but yeah, that's not bad though. Maybe I'll need to look more into that if I can't find this other one. But hopefully we don't need to worry about that.
I am a huge proponent, and I don't know if we've talked about this on the show before, but I'm a huge proponent of having like the cheapest golf equipment that there is.
Oh yeah,
and just being good with it, and then like beating people that have expensive golf equipment is like my most satisfying thing in life. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
I just bought this driver for $400. Yeah, I got my driver used from Callaway Pre-Owned, and I just outdrove you by 40 yards. So you can go.
I don't think I've paid full price for anything in golf yet. Besides, I consider that like main purchases, like shoes. Those were on sale. Bag, Facebook Marketplace, clubs, Callaway Pre-Owned.
Yeah, I got mine. I did buy my irons new, and my bag new, and I guess my shoes new too.
Yeah, but your bag was like the Costco one. So
Costco, yeah.
Compared to what the non-Costco one would be, you're still saving money.
This is true. Save money, live better. Walmart. You know what I mean?
Save money, live better. Costco.
That's my Nitro golf balls. I think you've convinced me that I need to switch off of Nitro. I think I'm starting to outgrow Nitro now.
Yeah, don't play the Nitros.
I don't know. Hey. I have a couple. I have some Callaway balls that I got at a golf outing.
Okay.
That I think I'm going to use. I'm going to try and use those.
Yeah. I like these Max Fly Tours I'm playing. They're pretty solid. Would recommend.
Yeah, I just like playing with a new golf ball. I think that's my big thing is like I like to look down and see a nice, white, clean golf ball, not all marked up or scuffed up.
Well, that's why between holes you just kind of...
Okay.
Good to go.
Please never do that again. Please never make that noise.
You got to use one of the ball cleaners though on the course. You just a couple times and it's good to go.
Yeah, I mean I have a towel, but still, and granted, I'm starting to stay out of the mud and
that's good
stuff more and more as time goes on. So I'm starting to feel more confident where I can use a golf. I'm probably not going to be using Pro V1s that are $1.25 a ball.
Forget that.
But maybe some Max Fly or whatever the heck you're talking about, or some
Yeah,
Chrome
those ones
Soft.
are solid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like the
I don't
Max
know.
Fly ones. They're you can get 4 dozen for $110.
For $110,
Yeah, but for 4 dozen.
dude, I can get like 36. I can get 3 dozen nitro balls for $30.
Yeah, but they're rocks.
Yes, but they go far.
Yeah, but so do the Max Flies.
Not necessarily.
Have I told you about the blank golf ball I have in my bag?
No.
I have a blank, non-marked golf ball.
Oh.
I got it from a buddy.
It's
I'm
probably
pretty
from
sure
a mini golf course.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Thing is an absolute rock.
Well, those are. Those are
it
meant
is
to be rock.
bad. Yeah, but I pull out of my bag occasionally, and I call it the blank golf ball, and it cracks me up every time I see it. So I keep it in there for humor.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should start using it.
I could.
I got a buddy who
could.
only likes using Nike golf balls, which is tough
Nike
because
makes
Nike
golf
doesn't.
balls?
They used to.
Yeah. Have you ever used one of the balls with the like the stripes on it to help line up your putting?
Like the Chrome Soft, yeah.
Yeah, like with like triple track and stuff like that. I really like those.
Yeah. So
Those are fun.
maybe the Chrome Soft is in my future. You know what else is in my future? Some odd news, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. Welcome back. Odd news segment. You want to go first? You want me to go first? I'm very excited. I want you to go first because
I'll go first.
Mine is great.
I'll go
Mine
first.
is-
Well,
Top tier.
okay. So this takes us to Missouri, home of my old boss, and also home of a minor league baseball team known as the Springfield Cardinals.
Oh.
Would you like to guess who the Springfield Cardinals are affiliated with?
The Chicago White Sox.
So close.
The New York Jets.
That's a football team.
Well, I'm getting
So the
further away
Springfield
here.
Cardinals, AA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals, of course. There was a duck delay during their game.
Quack.
There was a pair of ducks that landed on the field and decided to go for a walk during the bottom of the 4th inning.
Quack.
Yeah, so they're wandering around casually around the field. They were playing the Northwest Arkansas Naturals, the Kansas City Royals affiliate. And it says that one of the ducks flew away on its own, but the other insisted on remaining on the field despite efforts by field crews to shoo it away. And they eventually got this duck to waddle off the field when they opened a gate, and the crowd was overjoyed. And I think there's a lot of weird things that happen in minor league baseball, but a duck being on the field has never really been one of them, you know?
The old duck delay.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear the call of that. Just
That
like
would be
the
good. Let's see if
broadcaster
there's-
talk about. Well, see, there's a duck on the field. That's my Missouri accent.
This duck
There's
looks
a duck
mad,
on the
too.
field.
This duck is yelling at the people around him. Oh, there he goes.
Is he
He's
quacking?
waddling away, much to the enjoyment of everyone there. The duck is off the field, and the game could resume.
Duck walked up to the lemonade stand, and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bum, bum, bum."
Am I supposed to continue it?
Yeah, do you not know that?
Oh, got any grapes? Of course I know it.
Yes, good. Welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Ducks are awesome. Ducks are so much cooler than geese. Hot take. I like ducks.
Yeah. I had another bird story queued up, but I'll let you go.
Okay. Mine is also animal themed.
Of course it is.
Mine. So normally all of our odd news stories come from UPI. Great website.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. UPI.
What does it stand
.com.
for? United
no
Press
idea.
International.
Sure.
They were founded in 1907. Holy cow.
Okay. Well, this story, I may or may not be on UPI. I didn't check. I saw this through a news outlet the other day.
Okay.
So recently, we're recording this in May, the beginning of May 2025. This past weekend was the Kentucky Derby.
It was. Did you watch the
Kentucky
race?
Derby. I did not.
Do you, 1 second, I have a question for you quick. Can you name the 3 legs with a triple crown?
I can't, but I want to
Oh
tell
my
my
gosh.
odd news story.
Okay, sorry. That was my question of the day at the one game this past week for my staff, and none of them could do it.
You have a question of the day? What are you, a nerd?
Yeah, for my camera operators. It keeps them entertained. They enjoy it. One guy asked me what the question was, and I hadn't thought of it yet, so I got put on the spot. So, that's how I build morale and camaraderie and all those words with my staff. Rapport.
You ask him a stupid question? Well,
yeah.
You can ask him this. So,
okay.
I found out recently, do you know like the most famous racehorse of all time?
Secretariat.
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Did you know that this Kentucky Derby, every
I did know
horse
this.
in the race was a descendant of Secretariat?
All
of
did.
the horses were related.
Yes. How about that?
Yes. Every horse 2025 Kentucky Derby is a descendant of legendary Triple Crown winner. First of all, have you ever seen the movie Secretariat?
I have not.
It's top tier movie. You should go watch it.
About
I know
a
you're not a big movie guy.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I think I'll just turn it on right now while you tell the rest of the story.
Well, you should. You should absolutely watch it.
Okay.
But so there is 19 horses in the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby, and all of them
Derby. Sorry.
are descendants of this very famous racehorse.
That's wild.
And, I thought that was very interesting. Secretariat, who was bred from 1974 until his death in 1989. So he was breeding from 74 to 89, 15 years.
Yeah.
The last of Secretariat's sires, meaning children, that's horse speak for children,
Hello,
were born
sire.
in 1990. So there was a YouTube video I watched that showed the direct link to Secretariat, but the world. Have you ever done any research or been involved or know anything about horse racing?
Not really.
Well, a couple years ago, I went to a horse ranch in Kentucky where they retired. I forget what the exact name is, but it was retired famous horse ranch.
Okay.
And they talked about it's called Old Friends Equine in Georgetown, Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
And it's a ranch where all of the old horse racers go. And we learned a little bit about what it takes, and it's a big, obviously there's a lot of money tied up with it, and breeding the horse is a big thing. Mm-hmm. And so I find all that very interesting, and
yeah,
those are some mean animals, not mean animals, but just
big animals,
big mean looking athletes.
Yeah.
And it just the whole culture is interesting. They have to, when they are walking with the horse, with the jockey on the horse. Also, jockeys have a weight limit of 120 pounds. Did you know that?
Yeah, they are tiny. Yeah, so
they are
5'3". Yeah.
But when they're walking with the horse, they have a female horse that's there that will help guide and calm the male horse.
Oh,
Did you know that?
Interesting. I did not know that.
I found that very interesting. But the odd news, though, was that all of the horses were related. I don't know
Isn't that
who
crazy?
won the Kentucky Derby, but
I don't remember who it was.
I watched it after
Sovereignty.
Yes, that's who it was. Yes.
Sovereignty.
What's the thing with Secretariat about the size of his heart? It's supposed to there's something that they heard about that when he died, they did I don't know if that would be considered an autopsy, but
horse topsy, yeah.
A horse topsy. But
But like they said, his heart weighed 22 pounds.
Was he like the Grinch? His heart was 3 sizes too small?
The average thoroughbred's heart weighs about 8.5 pounds, but his weighed almost 3 times that.
Oh. So it's 3 times the size. Like the anti-Grinch. So maybe that's why I could pump blood faster.
Yeah.
And in higher volume.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I would. Sure. Whatever you say. I always find it interesting how like young the horses are when they're running in the derbies and stuff like that. Like horses reach their peak within like the first like 3 to 5 years of their life. Like Secretary was 3 years old when he won the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
And like they race for like Secretary ran 21 races, and that was all it was in his career. You know, he ran for like 2 years essentially, and then he was done.
Did you know that they first of all fly the horses, and I'd love to see a horse on an airplane. That would be hilarious.
I saw them getting unloaded off the plane at one point. Yeah.
And so they fly them in, but then they walk them through like a solution to clean off their feet. And then they have to isolate them for like 3 to 5 days and then do blood work to make sure they're not sick. So there's a lot that goes into making sure that, like, because again, a lot of the horses, there's a lot of money tied up in these horses, millions and millions of dollars in breeding these horses, in just owning these horses. So, you know, they don't want to spread around disease. And so, I don't know. I found that very interesting. It's my odd news of the day. I don't know what to tell you.
Did you know, this is something I just learned about Secretary as well. He was buried whole. Traditionally, only the head, heart, and hooves of a winning horse race are buried.
Oh.
But he was buried whole.
Know that.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I want to say this ranch that we went to had the grave of Secretariat, but I may be mistaken there.
Secretariat is buried at Claiborne Farms. Is that where you went?
I don't remember.
There's a life-size statue of
Secretariat's on findagrave.com.
The National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame. That statue does not look life-size, but maybe I'm underestimating how... There's no way that statue is life-size.
I don't know what to tell you, my man.
Look at this. I wish I could show you this picture. This thing does not look life-size. That building looks like it is 10 stories tall then.
I don't know.
Sorry, I got a little distracted there, but...
I want to broadcast a horse race.
That's because the photo on Wikipedia, I think, is the wrong statue. No? What's happening? I'm so confused, dude.
I don't know, but while you figure that out, I'll talk about social media platforms that you can follow us.
Yes,
follow
please do.
Basement Birds at Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube at Basement Birds.
Yeah.
Check it out. Full episodes posted on Spotify and YouTube. Do we post a video version to Spotify as well?
Yes.
Yes, the video.
Yep.
I don't ever use Spotify, so
yeah.
Good to know.
Not really either. Well, I use it for music, not for podcasts, I should say.
Yeah, I'm a big Apple Music guy, so
I check YouTube for our podcast to make sure I'm not wearing the same shirt 2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
Because that happens more often than I feel like it should, but, you know, oh well.
Yes. Well, all right. Rock and roll. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Basement Birds Show. Logan, Reid.
Yep.
Love the energy. All right. We'll catch you on the next one. Yay!
See ya.